So I was hanging out with my brother Joseph yesterday, and he asked an excellent question. What is your ideal structure in reference to a living situation? I had a deep ponder on this, and the distilled answer came through: a geomantic dome home. Now, most people have never heard of geomancy. However, you may be familiar with related concepts, such as ley lines, or dragon lines as they're called in the East. Many famous buildings are built upon them, such as the pyramids of Giza, Stonehenge, many major cities. And this overlooked aspect of architecture is actually the most foundational and important starting point that our ancestors had much knowledge about. When we visit the website geomancygroup.org, we read that geomancy literally means divining the earth. It is an art that analyzes the subtle energies that ebb and flow throughout the landscape, influencing health and wealth, home, garden, and office alike. Geomancy works harmoniously with these energies to enhance our relationship with spirit and place. Every culture has ancient geomantic tradition. In Chinese, it's called feng shui. Like feng shui, geomancy can tell you what's wrong with the energies in your home or workplace and how to correct them. Western geomancy utilizes dowsing and earth acupuncture techniques to deal with geopathic stress and balance the subtle earth energies. A geomancer is like a gatekeeper who can create portals between the worlds. If you want to connect with the sacred, a geomancer can help you build that gate. Now, I've personally been interested in geomancy for many years. I had the privilege of taking an introductory course to it after Unify Fest in New Mexico. The instructor articulated that there are positive and negative, that is to say, electric and magnetic, masculine and feminine, energy lines that grid the entire Earth's surface. The more potent forms of these energies can create mountains or valleys, and geomancers use them to place architecture that is a harmonious direction of the energy, such as putting the bathroom on a line that takes energy away, and putting the kitchen or the temple or your bedroom on a line where the energy is amplifying. The ramifications and potential of this creativity are limitless, as everything is energy. From better tasting food to more harmonious rest, geomancy is the first step to designing a community. Looking at the aspects of inspiration for what an ideal structure looks like, I'm going to be taking a look at the local examples here in Indonesia, Lombok's dome homes. We'll be looking at BioGeometry's website for their geomantic tools and introductory courses. For modular design inspiration that allows one to build and expand over time, we'll be looking at Dome Gaia and their use of aircrete. For a holistic consultant to guide one through the process of individual home and communal design, Lombok of BioVeda is at the leading edge of what he calls bioarchitecture. And finally, for some inspiration on eco-social design, the village homes of Davis, California are an incredible example of how a thoughtful architectural layout, keeping in mind the vision of an abundant fruit forest, allows parents peace of mind and time to relax, and children a degree of freedom, play, and protection that re-inspires both what it's like to grow up and also to be a parent in a way that is less stressful and harmonious with the environment. In 2020, I had the pleasure of exploring Naku in Tulum, Mexico. Their aircrete home was a beautiful example of something on a smaller scale that offers a beautiful living space in an aesthetically pleasing environment. In Lombok, there's an amazing example of what dome home designs can look like in a more luxurious way. When I asked Lombok of BioVeda where I could get a pendulum for geomancy, he referred me to a website called BioGeometry, referring to them as wizards. They have online shops all over the world, including one for Indonesia. They have an array of tools, and the one we'll be looking at now is their pendulum, specifically used for dowsing and measuring the ley lines. In addition to their tools, they also offer research papers, including one that has to do with architecture and health. You can read their abstract here, and a link to the entire paper is at the bottom. Furthermore, they have trainings that educate people on how to utilize these tools. Chris Attard is offering courses online with many dates to choose from. If one was to calculate the benefits of proper energy flow on a property, this price is well worth the value that comes to both the individual and community at large. My original introduction to aircrete homes came from Dome Gaia, based out of Thailand. The open, aesthetically pleasing, seemingly naturally infused environment have continued to serve as a deep inspiration and standard of what I would personally like to resonate with in my own life and in the community at large. The amazing thing about aircrete is that one can even saw openings over time to create new expansions and attachments. Now some words from the founder of Dome Gaia about aircrete.
Many environmental architects consider it to be the building material of the future. Aircrete is a lightweight masonry product that is infused with tiny air bubbles, which expands its volume many times. It provides good thermal and acoustic insulation. It's fireproof, waterproof, and impervious to insects, including termites. Made of completely recyclable, non-toxic, non-corrosive materials, it will not rot, warp, or mold. Unlike concrete, which is hard, heavy, cold, and difficult to work with, aircrete is easy to work with. It dries overnight to a density similar to wood. It can be cut, carved, drilled, and shaped with woodworking tools. It accepts nails, screws, and is easily repaired. And because its primary ingredient is air, it's eco-friendly and inexpensive to produce. Aircrete is simply a mixture of water, ordinary cement, which is made of powdered limestone, and a water-based lather that looks like shaving cream. You need a foaming agent and a foam generator to produce the thick lather, and a special mixer to fold the lather into the mixture. Commercial equipment is heavy and costly, thus aircrete has been mostly limited to industrial use. With the help of my genius son Joel, who's the CEO of his company Infinite Automations, we developed an inexpensive do-it-yourself foam generator that works famously with ordinary dish detergent as the foaming agent. Then we invented a compact, lightweight, continuous mixer powered by an electric drill. This little machine replaces the heavy equipment that costs tens of thousands of dollars. And where conventional equipment only produces one batch at a time, our little machine is amazing. It will produce over 10 gallons per minute all day long with ease. We also created a special tubing bender for making forms. Our forms are made of inexpensive and easily accessible materials that can be reused over and over again. Fast, easy, and elegant aircrete structures answer the need for high-quality, low-cost housing everywhere. With our equipment and basic training, you too can have a solid, eco-friendly, insulated, waterproof, fireproof, insect-proof, non-toxic, beautiful, permanent home that makes your heart smile.
Dome Gaia makes their tools available at a very affordable cost. You can see here that their discounted package provides most everything one needs, including architectural designs. This is the website of Holarchy, founder of BioVeda. He's worked with Michael Tellinger and many other people to help design communities and individual homes. He offers his service as a consultant to holistically design aspects of community, ranging from permaculture, water management, building without debt, and geothermal greenhouses. Here's some words from Holarchy and an example of one of his designs.
Alright, so here we go. We have a lovely house design which is mimicking what we have outside here, which I've started putting the foundations. So I've got completed to obviously the underground water tank here. It's fully completed, 40,000 liters, and I've got all the foundations, these dark brown rings, they're all ready. So a new feature that I'm adding in is an egg, which is actually going to have a little seat here at this level, so you could sit and have a bath in this bottom level, and then of course have a shower right coming down from the top. And then I'm going to be integrating some steam pipes which can bring in the steam with a little fireplace outside. On the front side of the house, we've got a large window which will be obviously facing the wetland. Here we have, similar to Hajaro's window, very similar. You can actually lie down inside here, inside these round windows like Steve Arene did. Lovely skylights, simple, quick skylights are going to be here. So I've really maximized the amount of openings that the structure has. And then of course we have a door from the south side in the southern hemisphere. So on the northern side we're going to get that lovely window. Here we have a toilet. Underneath the toilet will be a septic tank. And inside, obviously, the overflow will go through to the constructed wetland or food forest spiral. And then the shower will go to the constructed wetland in front. The beautiful calendar almanac will be here. So they'll have little glass beads and the shadows. They'll have 56 sticks around like Stonehenge, and shadows will be cast through on the inside surface of the house with different glass beads coming in. And then, of course, we'll have some smaller windows, which I haven't drawn, but they'll welcome the different directions, east, west, and the solstices and the equinoxes.
Our last aspect of inspiration is going to highlight the Village Homes community in Davis, California. This has ramifications both for suburban and off-grid communities. And what's very significant to note is the demeanor of the parents later on in the video, which is a strong juxtaposition to the standard stress that most expect to experience while raising children.
Village Homes was the first and is probably still the best developed attempt at an ecological village, and it's in the city of Davis in the United States. It's really extremely simple but extremely sophisticated at once. It was designed by Michael Corbett. The houses are very close together, east-west. They're just maybe 20 feet apart. But each row of houses sit on a rise on either side of a hollow. And the hollow is called a swale. It was Mike Corbett who revived that name from the Old English. And so all water off the roof, all water off the roads and the paths run into the swales all the year and is absorbed. And I think the figures for the first few years went, we got a foot of water absorbed, and then we got about 2 and a bit feet, I think, and then 17 feet in the third year. So that once you've got 17 feet of water saturation under here, you know you can grow trees without additional watering. And the food is just, really, it's a hand's reach away.
Can't move from here because the kids don't want to leave. And it's a great neighborhood for kids. It's nice to have a place where there's real neighborhood. There's other people looking after the kids or aware what's going on, and the kids could go out the door from wee toddlers on up and make their own friends and really control their own life to a great degree. That you don't have to worry about them and run their life as much, and makes things easier for us, and it's a lot better for them.
They play tag for hours, even the big ones do. And no one can find them there.
And I imagine every kid around here has gotten involved in the commerce of the place in terms of the little girls in the neighborhood. There are only 5 or 6, there's 3 or 4 that pick little bouquets and peddle them door to door, just for mostly, I think, for the fun of it. And there's just such a cornucopia of fruit and all this other stuff that I think it's occurred to all of them at one time or another to try to do something with it. They get a real appreciation for it and actually know a ripe fruit from one that's not, and develop a surprising knowledge about all these kinds of plants, and they're not even aware of it. And so that's nice too. You know, but the one thing we never really appreciated was the fact of how much freedom we got out of the situation. Just like right now. Really?
This is smart.
This is the perfect time to be dreaming big and to be very clear on what we're calling into our life. We are about to witness an incredibly rare astrological alignment. Looking at true sidereal astrology with the program Stellarium, we can see Saturn is in its home sign of Capricorn, and both Jupiter and Neptune in their home sign of Pisces, Mars in its home sign of Aries, Venus in Taurus, and Mercury in Gemini. This portal is open for roughly 10 days before both Venus and Mercury move out of their rulership. However, Saturn, Neptune, Jupiter, and Mars will be in their rulership for longer. I'm sharing this video at this time in this way as a prayer for what I see in my future and a call for others to share their own inspiration on how they would like to live. May this be a seed of inspiration to call in our soul's authentic embodiment. And please share your own comments and inspiration via email or in the comment section below. Always in love, love in all ways.